This will likely be a short video, yet one that conveys an important message. The title alone should provide a clear indication of the subject matter we will be addressing today. This phenomenon is nothing new, as K-pop fans are known to be disingenuous, pretending to care about an issue when in reality, they're utilizing it as a gotcha moment. I'd like to bring attention to 2 instances of such performative behavior, and I graciously like to invite your viewpoints in the comments, though I kindly ask that all remarks must remain civil and respectful. Without further ado, let's get into it. The Love Your W campaign, organized by fashion magazine W Korea since 2006, is an annual initiative aimed at raising awareness and funds for breast cancer prevention and support in South Korea. The 2025 event, held on October 15 at the Four Seasons Hotel in Seoul, marked its 20th year but quickly became embroiled in widespread controversy. What was intended as a charity fundraiser devolved into what critics described as a lavish celebrity party with minimal emphasis on the cause itself. Attendees included numerous high-profile K-pop idols and celebrities, who were seen drinking alcohol, dining, dancing, and participating in viral social media challenges. Notably absent were traditional symbols like pink ribbons, educational messages about breast cancer, or involvement from patients, survivors, or medical experts. The backlash erupted online shortly after, fueled by W Korea's social media posts that highlighted the festivities without referencing the charity's purpose. One particularly criticized post was titled "Inside W Korea's Breast Cancer Party," which was seen as tone-deaf and insensitive, especially given alcohol's known link to increased breast cancer risk. Critics, including breast cancer patients, were outraged. Additional scrutiny arose over reported donation discrepancies, with some questioning the event's transparency and whether it truly benefited the cause, leading to accusations of it being seen fraud or marketing ploy. In response to the uproar, W Korea removed all related social media content and issued an official apology on October 19. The statement expressed deep regret for failing to carefully consider the perspective of breast cancer patients and their families and for causing discomfort through the event's inappropriate content and execution. They pledged to review and improve future planning to better align with the campaign's mission. The controversy extended to the participating celebrities, who faced criticism for attending the event and for their post-event behavior on social media. Key figures included Jay Park, who performed his song Mom May, which featured explicit lyrics about women's bodies, drawing intense ire for its insensitivity in breast cancer context. Park later apologized, explaining he has performed in good faith but acknowledged the misjudgment. BTS members, V and RM, were also among the attendees, with V linked to an unrelated and unverified dating rumor involving aespa's Winter, which amplified scrutiny. Criticism focused on their participation in the event's party atmosphere without addressing the cause. Members from Stray Kids, IVE, and sserafim were also present, facing general backlash for seemingly prioritizing glamour over advocacy. However, the most criticized group from what I've seen and who we'll be talking about today are aespa. The group drew significant online flack as prominent attendees. Giselle was singled out for videos showing her appearing unsteady while leaving the venue, which netizens deemed inappropriate for a charity event meant to raise awareness on breast cancer. However, fans hit back at this with pictures of Giselle at the event in which she appeared to be wearing shoes that were too big for her. This is seemingly the reason for why she was stumbling. Winter received criticism after posting casual Instagram photos of herself and her dog shortly following the event. Netizens labeled her thoughtless for sharing lighthearted content amid the growing controversy, arguing it showed lack of awareness or remorse. This was exacerbated by her rumored connection to BTS's V. However, defenders argued she had simply fulfilled a professional obligation, left early, and shouldn't be blamed for normal personal posts unrelated to the event. Karina faced targeted criticism primarily for 2 aspects of her participation. 1. She was filmed by W Korea performing the viral dance challenge "Your Body Is So Sweet" during the event. This trend, which involves playful, body-focused movements and lyrics emphasizing physical attractiveness, was deemed highly inappropriate and tone-deaf in the context of a breast cancer fundraiser. Critics argued that it trivialized the seriousness of the disease, which often involves body-related trauma, surgeries, and sensitivities around physical appearance. The video, shared on social media, sparked immediate outrage, with netizens flooding the quotes and comments with condemnations, viewing it as prioritizing fun and virality over respectful advocacy. 2. She was also called out for wearing a low-cut dress, which some online commentators labeled as disrespectful and out of place at a charity event centered on breast cancer awareness. However, defenders quickly hit back at this, calling it misogynistic, especially given how most of the comments were centered around Karina's chest. Now that we've gone over the controversy, let's address the subject matter at hand: K-pop fans weaponizing legitimate issues not for genuine advocacy, but as a pretext to target and harass groups they don't like. I'll be using aespa as a stark example, as they are the most criticized group among the attendees. Initially, they received valid criticism for their actions. However, this soon escalated into outright hate and threats, cloaked under the guise of holding them accountable. In reality, it bore little to no resemblance of accountability. Instead, it became a bandwagon for pre-existing biases, with aespa singled out amid selective outrage, despite over 100 celebrities present engaging in similar festivities. I've encountered this toxicity firsthand on platforms like TikTok, where comments revel in the hate train rather than addressing the cause. For instance, users gleefully posted their joy on aespa receiving hate, admitting outright that the situation was merely a convenient excuse. There were even calls for aespa to be cancelled or disbanded, alongside a deeply disrespectful remark aimed at Giselle invoking the tragic loss of Sully, implying harm or suicide, crossing into cyberbullying territory. There's also been instances of slut-shaming and body-shaming aimed at Karina for her dress, ignoring the fact that other female attendees wore similar attire, yet it is Karina who is getting such comments. In conclusion, aespa and the attendees messed up badly. However, it's important to recognize that the primary responsibility lies with the organizers for failing to maintain a respectful focus on breast cancer awareness. That said, this doesn't justify the hate, threats, or harassment towards the idols and celebrities who attended. Such reactions only fuel toxicity rather than accountability. Instead, let's channel our energy into holding all parties accountable without descending into personal attacks. In April of 2025, Kiss of Life announced a birthday livestream held for Julie, with the theme being old-school hip-hop vibes. Come the livestream, which was intended as a casual celebration, it faced significant backlash with accusations of cultural appropriation and perpetuating racial stereotypes, particularly those associated with the Black and Latino communities. The livestream featured the members dressed in outfits inspired by 1990s and early 2000s hip-hop fashion, including baggy clothing, bandanas, and accessories like grills or braided hairstyles. Activities included dancing to hip-hop tracks and playful interactions meant to evoke the era's vibe. However, elements such as exaggerated mannerisms, slang usage, and styling choices were perceived by many viewers as caricaturing Black and Latino cultural elements rather than paying homage. Critics pointed out that the theme reinforced harmful stereotypes, especially in a context where K-pop artists have faced similar scrutiny in the past. The controversy erupted almost immediately on social media platforms like X, Reddit, and TikTok, with international fans, particularly from Black and Latino communities, expressing disappointment and anger. Comments accused the group of knowing what they were doing and lacking education on cultural appropriation, with users debating the intent versus impact, and some calling for boycotts or unfollows. The incident led to a loss of momentum for the group, who had been gaining popularity since their 2023 debut, with some fans withdrawing their support as they were off-put by their actions. However, not all reactions were uniform. Some Korean netizens and international fans downplayed the issue as overblown. In response to the uproar, all four members issued a joint handwritten apology shortly after the event, acknowledging they had gone too far and expressing regret for any hurt they caused. Julie, as the focus of the birthday celebration, later released additional personal statements, including a video apology in late May or early June 2025, marking the group's third public address on the matter. In it, she specifically apologized to the Black and Latino communities, stating, "We do understand that we've hurt and disappointed a lot of the fans. We promise that we're working hard to be better, and committed to self-education." The apologies were met with mixed reception. Some fans accepted them as sincere, while others criticized it, deeming it as damage control or performative. This incident reignited discussions on cultural appropriation in K-pop, where artists often blend global styles but face criticism for insensitivity toward marginalized cultures. As of today, Kiss of Life has continued their activities, including music releases, but the controversy remains a notable blemish on their career. The performative activism is evident in this event as well. While the group's livestream drew valid backlash for elements perceived as appropriating Black and Latino cultures, the responses online quickly shifted from accountability to nitpicking, harassment, and even threats. During the controversy, people dissected the members' appearances and talents, particularly Belle. Her vocals has been discredited ever since the controversy as if her actions defines her talent. I've seen comments along the lines of, "Finally, I can say I never liked Kiss of Life, proud to say I never liked Kiss of Life, and I knew something was off about them from the beginning" on X, which shows that these people never cared about the issue. They're only using it as an opportunity to pile onto the group simply to validate their pre-existing ideas. If you don't like somebody, okay. But don't pretend your personal dislike is moral righteousness. You're not standing up for anything, you're only going along with the crowd because of your aversion. If your first instinct is to celebrate someone's downfall, it's spite. You don't care about accountability, you just want to be right. And it didn't stop there. In fact, it escalated. Somehow, it spiraled into death threats, deepfakes, and harassment directed at the members. It got to the point that S2 Entertainment, Kiss of Life's agency, announced that they will be taking legal action against these malicious perpetrators. Even worse, some people dismissed the abuse, going as far as to say they deserved it because of what happened. It's absolutely disturbing, inhumane, and disgusting. Nothing warrants death threats, deepfakes, or harassment no matter what the person in question has done. You'd be surprised by how many people lurk behind their screens, anxiously rubbing their hands together, waiting for any sign or signal to unleash their disgusting behavior, then justifying it with the "well, they're not completely innocent" rhetoric. But let's be real, it has nothing to do with what the person or group did, it's just an excuse for their own depraved and nasty thoughts to come pouring out under the veil of activism. In conclusion, while Kiss of Life's livestream undoubtedly crossed many lines, the avalanche of hate and threats far exceeded reasonable bounds. What began as rightful call-out quickly turned into cruelty, a reminder of how easily accountability fades when hatred and anger takes over. We can criticize actions without forgetting the human behind them. Overall, both incidents began as legitimate criticisms, one for trivializing a serious disease and the other for mishandling cultural elements rooted in marginalized communities. Yet in each case, the response quickly shed any pretense of accountability and became a vehicle for pre-existing dislike, escalating into harassment. The pattern is clear: K-pop fans, and also people on the internet, routinely exploit real issues to target people they never liked, while simultaneously ignoring similar behavior from their own favorite idols. The message is clear: no mistake, however tone-deaf or culturally insensitive it is, justifies threats, harassment, or hate campaigns. Criticism is valid, malice is not. Until people stop treating accountability as a code for unleashing their unchecked hatred, the cycle will repeat, and the only consistent victims will be the artists caught in the crossfire.